Jerome Wells' life changed one night when he helped a woman stranded on the road, unaware that she would later be the judge deciding his fate. Mr. Jerome Wells, you are found guilty of embezzlement and document forgery. Your sentence is 5 years in prison without bail. The gavel echoed through the courtroom like a gunshot. Jerome had known this moment was inevitable ever since he reported his boss's corruption. It all began 3 weeks earlier, when he was driving his 2008 Corolla along Highway 15 during a pounding rainstorm. At 34, the State University-trained accountant was working night shifts to pay bills after discovering that his boss, Richard Blackstone, had embezzled $2.3 million. Emergency lights flickered on the shoulder, and a woman struggled with her dead phone. Every instinct screamed to keep driving, but his mother's words echoed. Character is what you do when it costs you, not when it's convenient. Jerome stopped. "Ma'am, do you need help?" he asked respectfully. The woman hesitated, but finally replied, "My car just died, and there's no signal." Jerome examined the engine and quickly diagnosed a loose battery cable. 15 minutes later, the engine purred to life. "How much do I owe you?" she asked. "Nothing, ma'am. Just glad I could help," Jerome said, thinking, if only she knew, she may have saved my life. 3 weeks later, Jerome sat in court, handcuffed, as Judge Kendall Morrison announced his sentence. For a brief moment, he wondered if this was the same woman he had helped in the rain. After the sentence, his life crumbled. His security job ended, and he and his 8-year-old daughter, Amelia, moved into a small room with Donna Esperanza. "Daddy, are people being mean to you?" Amelia asked one night. Jerome held her tightly and whispered, "Sometimes good people go through hard times." Meanwhile, Richard celebrated his freedom, buying a beach house, while Jerome suffered. Jerome had secretly kept copies of all documents and spreadsheets from his audit of Blackstone Construction. He reached out to Detective Marcus Thompson, who specialized in financial crimes. Over 2 weeks, they built a federal case in secret. Richard underestimated Jerome completely, unaware that his arrogance had created a meticulous, patient enemy. One night, delivering pizza in an upscale neighborhood, Jerome saw a familiar black BMW, the same one from the storm. Judge Kendall Morrison exited the house and drove downtown. Jerome realized that the universe had given him something more powerful than evidence, a witness to his integrity. Soon after, the FBI raided Blackstone Construction. Richard was arrested for federal tax fraud, money laundering, and conspiracy to embezzle public funds. Jerome presented 8 years of documents proving that $16 million were stolen from public schools, hospitals, and daycare centers. Richard's empire collapsed. Jerome's conviction was overturned. He received a formal apology, financial compensation, and Richard was sentenced to 22 years in federal prison with no parole for the first 15. 6 months later, Jerome became Director of Auditing at the federal prosecutor's office, earning 3 times his previous salary and leading a national task force against corporate corruption. Amelia proudly announced, "Daddy has a big office now." Judge Kendall Morrison attended his inauguration, remarking that justice may take time, but when it arrives, it is absolute. Jerome Wells, the man who had stopped in the rain to help a stranger, proved that kindness and integrity are not weaknesses, they are superpowers. Richard Blackstone, who had tried to destroy him, discovered that true power lies in character, patience, and strategy. Jerome's story became a symbol of justice, showing that a man of integrity with evidence is more dangerous to corruption than any army.